Hey, what's up? I'm Tyler Boeh, and this is T for 2 Special Whip of the Week edition. That's right, I'm talking about my rental car, and this week I've been driving a 2016 Toyota Yaris. All in all, this car is pretty unremarkable, but I wrote some remarks, so here goes. The Yaris is Toyota's subcompact model, and it's actually been in production since 1999 when it was known originally as the Toyota Echo, which might explain why they've been putting this car out without any major changes year after year after year after year after... You get the point. The Yaris has a 1.5-liter straight 4 with just 106 horsepower and a 4-speed automatic transmission. It's not the cheapest new car that money can buy, but it could have fooled me. Now, what you expect with Toyota is reliability, and you got the same thing with this car. I would guarantee you that it's going to be just as mediocre 10 or 15 years from now as it is today. The Yaris is coming out of Toyota's European division, and it's actually manufactured in France, which would explain why the car smokes constantly and stops working for 2 hours in the middle of the day. The recent update was primarily cosmetic, not a lot to do with the performance of the car. As you can see, they updated the front grille, and they streamlined the windshield by getting rid of that pesky second wiper. Yeah, they just got the one giant wiper blade across the whole windshield, which is sort of adorable and a little bit sad, kind of like somebody waving goodbye from a long ways away. On the inside of the car, the interior, it's got comfortable seating for 2. Technically there's 5 seats, but they aren't comfortable. It comes standard with turn signals, both left and right, but I've been driving the car around Boston all week, so I didn't even need to use those. The dash is very minimalistic. All it has is a gas gauge and a speedometer. They didn't put a tack display on there, which I think is a little bit tacky, or tactless, I guess, but I can understand why. With the 4-speed transmission, you are constantly redlining, so they probably don't want you to see how close you are to exploding the engine as you attempt to accelerate. The interior trim looks nice, but feels cheap, sort of like what you'd expect if IKEA built a car. I mean, if IKEA gave you the pieces of a car to put together. The car goes from 0 to 60, and who cares, and has a top speed of 108 miles an hour. 108? I think I've had fevers higher than that. But honestly, as slow as this thing accelerates, I don't think you could find enough time in your day to get up to top speed. I was trying to merge on the freeway, and I had to push on the gas pedal for so long to get to 70 that my foot fell asleep. What this car lacks in power, it makes up for in noise. Yeah. The engine is so whiny, it's like driving around with a toddler that missed a nap. Between the road noise and the engine, the inside of the car is so loud, I kept expecting a flight attendant to come up the aisle and tell me to put my seat back in the full upright position. While we're talking about speed, I should mention that this car has an unbelievably long stopping distance at 185 feet from 70 miles per hour, which is very poor for a small, lightweight car like this, and could probably be attributed to small tires, cheap brakes, or insufficient suspension. But I think in this case, I'm going to go with D, all of the above. If you can't stop in time, you might be comforted to know that the car comes standard with 9 airbags. So if you do get in a crash, you're liable to float away or suffocate. Either way, you're probably going to want to get out of that car pretty quick. After driving this thing for about 5 days, I can tell you it's slower, louder, and less comfortable than its counterparts, which makes me think it's one of the most subpar subcompacts on the market. It's not as bad as the Nissan Versa Note, but it's nice to see that Toyota's giving them a run for their money. So, for that reason, I'm very happy it's not my car, it's just my whip of the week. Thanks for watching, and check back to see where I'm at and what I'm driving next.